and renounces them completely. When you understand the sin and merit, bondage and freedom, it's not that you need to renounce the sense enjoyments. Sense enjoyments will renounce you. They will understand you are useless for them and they will renounce you. You renouncing smoking will not help because you may bring it back again. Smoking renouncing you is the only way. Your consciousness should become such, those senses should feel you are no more useful for him or her. They are no more useful for you and they can't exploit you anymore. They can't live inside your system anymore. Only when they understand, only when your senses understand that your body and mind can't be used by them anymore, you are liberated from them and they do not try to bind you, they do not try to create attachment in you. The one who renounces also renounces everything in the inner world and the outer world. The one who renounces also renounces the inner and the outer world. Understand? It is a continuity from earlier sutra. The one who renounces the sense enjoyment, which is mentioned earlier, also renounces all attachments in the inner and outer worlds. Such a person then receives initiation from the superior one, means the master, and attains the state of a muni. The state where he does not consider this world as his home and wants to enter into the other world. When he attains the state of a muni, he gets a glimpse of true dharma. Understand? Now, the sutras are explaining about the state of enlightenment and how you live in it. The one who renounces the sense enjoyment also renounces all of the attachments in the inner and outer worlds. The inner world also you are not supposed to have any attachments. You are supposed to be experiencing the truth even beyond the inner world. As opposed to the dharma, if you understand the attachments are opposed to dharma in the inner and outer world, such a person then is initiated. Initiated means that the experience is transmitted from master to him. The transmission of the ultimate experience happens and he attains the state of a muni. He attains the state of enlightened one, Siddha, the ultimate pure consciousness. Once he gets the glimpse of the true dharma, he removes the veil of ignorance which surrounds his true self. Once the veil of ignorance is removed, he attains completely the state of pure knowing, Kevala Jnana, and pure Darshan, Kevala Darshan, the pure enlightenment. This whole sutra, Moksha Marga Sutra, is all about enlightenment and the ultimate state. It's a beautiful sutra, and the next few sutras are also connected. The one who attains the state of pure knowing and pure experience, such a jinn, means the person who has conquered, attains the state of Kevala Jnana and transcends all planes of existence. Once he attains the state of the Kevala Jnana, he finally renounces the mind, speech and the body and attains the state of Samadhi and Shanti. Once he attains the state of Shanti, he destroys all karmas from their root and attains the state of enlightened one, Siddha. Once a Siddha, he remains to be Siddha eternally. Beautifully, Mahavir is describing through various words about how the enlightenment is achieved and how you remain in that state. Maybe I feel that once I start talking on the sutra, there shouldn't be any gap. Now you may have 5 minutes break. Then we will start this sutra and end the session with the complete understanding of these few sutras. So you may have few minutes of break, interval, then we will start the next session with a few sutras of Moksha Marga. Thank you. Now let us start the Kevala Jnana and Kevala Darshana. The pure knowledge and pure experience. Mahavir says, once the veil of ignorance is removed, he attains completely the state of pure knowing and pure experience. Mahavira is describing the process of enlightenment here through these 5-6 sutras. The one who sees everything as movements in consciousness, he transcends sins and merit, bondage and liberation. The one who transcends sin and merit, bondage and liberation, he understands the futility in sense enjoyment and goes beyond them. The one who renounces sense enjoyment also renounces the attachments in the inner and outer worlds. Such a person then receives initiation, means the transmission of energy from a superior one, from the master, and attains the state of a Muni, and once he gets the glimpse of the true Dharma, he removes the veil of ignorance which surrounds his true self. Once the veil of ignorance is removed, he attains completely the state of pure knowing and pure experience. One who attains the state of pure knowing and pure experience, such a Jain, it is the root word for Jain, attains the state of Kevala Jnana and transcends all the planes of existence. Once he attains the state of Kevala Jnana, he renounces mind, body and speech and is in Shanta, stillness. Once he attains the state of stillness, he destroys all karmas from their root and attains the state of a Siddha, enlightened one. Once a Siddha, he remains to be eternally enlightened, Siddha eternally. See, beautiful, many sutras, but actually the whole thing happens in 1 second. It is not like a step by step what he is describing. He is describing, using so many words, the ultimate glimpse or the ultimate truth, how it happens and how the person is established in enlightenment. You may think, by knowing all these things, what is the direct use? Understand, if you deeply connect with the truth of these teachings, feeling connected, this very listening can just transport you to that plane, to that existence, because there is no other qualification necessary to achieve this reality. As I was telling you, your ignorance is too small to take enlightenment away from you. Your ignorance is too small. You are not so ignorant as you think. Even in ignorance, you are not full as you think. Fortunately, you are not full even in your ignorance. Your ignorance is not so powerful as you think. it is possible to go beyond. It is possible to work beyond. Just the other day, I went to see one of our devotee who left the body, and after meditating, I just touched did namaskar with a lot of respect and reverence. One of our devotees asked me, why did you give respect for her? You blessed her, that is beautiful, but why did you pay so much of respect? I want all of you to understand the answer which I gave, because that will enlighten you with this whole truth. In Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful story. Krishna was touching the feet of Radha and painting it with that, what do you call, before the marriage you paint all the things in the hand and mehendi. The story says that Krishna was applying mehendi to Radha's feet, and it is too much. All the rishis and munis are waiting to touch the feet of Krishna, and he is touching somebody else's feet. And they said, what, you gone crazy or what? You may be in love with her, but that's not that you will touch her feet. You are the ultimate. You are Bhagavan himself. How can you touch the feet? He says beautifully, her devotion has got so much of depth. She is so devoted. I feel that she is more connected to me than my body itself. She is so deeply connected to me than this body itself. Understand? This will give you the glimpse of the space in which masters are living. I told the same thing. That person is so devoted, she is close to me than this body itself. It means just because I am living in this body is not close to me. There is a possibility to get more closer. You need to understand that. I can say that psychology of enlightenment or the physiology of enlightenment, whatever word you may use, we don't know the right word, the truths of enlightenment. Enlightened being may be using a body, but your devotion can be more closer to his enlightenment than his very body itself. This truth liberates you. It can guarantee you your enlightenment with just your devotion or feeling connected. See, to whom you are devoted, whether he is enlightened or not, don't bother. Just you feeling connected, your trust, your surrender itself is more than enough to give you enlightenment. Many people come and ask me, Swamiji, if I surrender to a statue, surrender to a murti, surrender to a stone, will I become enlightened? I tell you, to whom you surrender, whether to a stone or a murti or a statue, is not important. The surrender, the quality of surrender, that is important. If that quality happens in you, even a stone can give you enlightenment. Stone itself may not have been enlightened, but it can give you enlightenment, because you are more closer to the idea represented by the stone than the stone itself. Understand? You are more closer to the truth represented by the stone than the stone itself. This is the truth. This is the base. This is the thing which you need to understand. Why we use idols to achieve enlightenment. How the idols can lead to enlightenment. How the statues can lead to enlightenment. Idol worship is not just ordinary thing. If you stop with that, it's an ordinary thing. But if you use that, actually, we don't worship idols. We worship through idols. We worship through idols, not just idols. Your intensity is more than enough to liberate you. Even a statue is enough to liberate you. And if you don't have an intensity, even if God comes in front of you, you will ask for ID card. In Ramakrishna's life, there is a beautiful story. Ramakrishna himself became enlightened through the help of Kali Murti, just a one stone statue. And he became enlightened. When he was talking about this, somebody was sitting in front of him and counting beads or doing some technique, some traditional things they were doing, some sandhya or something. Then Ramakrishna says, see, in my case, because of my trust, even the stone gave me enlightenment. In his case, I am sitting in front of him and this fellow is closing his eyes and doing some sandhya. What he will achieve, what he is trying to see is sitting in front of him, but he is not able to see. Many times, when you really open up, when you really understand, even an ordinary statue can lead you to ultimate experience. When you don't open up, even if an enlightened being is sitting in front of you, you will be so closed with your own prejudices, with your own ideas. You will be sitting and doing something on your own, inside your mind. The one who attains the state of pure knowing and pure experience, such a jinn, means the person who won, who is winning, attains the state of kevala jnana, aloneness, and transcends all the planes of existence. You exist in different levels, different planes. Sometimes you exist in the physical plane. Whenever you exist in the physical plane, you experience the physical pleasures and physical pains. Whenever you exist in the mental plane, you experience the mental pleasures and mental pains. See, for example, if you are more in the mental layer, you will experience more joy in name and fame, and you will be more afraid of defamation. You will not be afraid of the physical pleasures much. You will be more bothered about the mental pleasures. And the same way, if you are living in a subtler planes, your joys, your experiences will be more subtle. The person who knows the whole thing is just consciousness moving in consciousness. See, there is nothing to protect, there is nothing to save, there is nothing to play. Understand this one small truth. It's like you are a big wave rising in the ocean of consciousness and falling into it. Nothing more than that. Sometimes that wave starts thinking, no, I have become separate. Now I need to, either the moment you think that you have become separate, either you want to go back to the source or you want to try to do something for your security. Trying to do something for your security is outer world game. Trying to go back to the source is the inner world game, but both are games. Because you are not separate from the ocean. Understand, that is what here Mahavira is saying. You are liberated. You are supposed to be liberated even from the idea of liberation. Even from the idea of liberation. You are supposed to transcend the idea of liberation. See, first ignorance is the ocean, the wave thinking it is separate from the ocean. And the second thing, next step, if the ocean is more outwardly, the wave is more outwardly, towards the outer world. It starts thinking, I should now create a security for me. It starts collecting all the pebbles in the beach and feels that is the treasure. It can hold on, feels that it will be secured forever with the stones and pebbles. It goes towards the outer world. That's what we are doing. Collecting few more zeros in our bank balance, thinking that we will be safe and secured forever. The same thing we are doing. This is the movements towards the outer world and inner world. Sometime the ocean starts thinking, I should go back to my source, connect myself with the ocean and achieve the enlightenment. And it starts thinking it should try to do something specially to connect. You don't need to do anything because you are never separated. All you need to do is renounce the idea you are separated. Understand the truth, you are one. You are already one with the ocean. You are already one with the consciousness. You are already one with the truth. Whether you are rising or in the peak or falling, you are inside the ocean. You are never separated. Understand, whether you are sick or healthy, whether you are depressed or joyful, whether you are living or dead. Of course, I don't think anybody here is dead. Anyhow, whether you are going through life or death, whether you are sick or healthy, whether you are joyful or depressed, you are inside the ocean. Some fishes may swim against the current, some fishes go with the current. Whether you go with the current or against the current, you are in ocean. You are inside the water. So whether you realize you are enlightened or you don't realize you are enlightened, you are enlightened.